Hello, hello, hello. We are back for another installment of the Altered Book. Um, I went ahead and did like the tags, the journaling cards, and that kind of stuff off camera because I mean it's a lot of gluing and a lot of cutting and pretty boring to sit and watch somebody do all that. So I'm just going to kind of do a flip through with you, and I'll go page by page and show you what I've added in here. There's several different digital kits that I have printed off and used for the tags and such. If I remember who it is, I will tell you. If not, obviously I won't. But all of the Etsy shops that I got the digital prints from will be listed in the description below. So I still have this. This is my little library card that I'm going to put on the inside of the book once it's covered. But I keep losing track of it, so it's just paper clipped in the front. So I didn't add anything here. I guess we do a kind of a mini flip through, huh? So this is an actual recipe card, sponge cakes, and then there's butter cake, emergency cake, Creole cake, milkless, eggless, and butterless cake. But these are real recipes from days gone by. I have these two cards. Now these I printed them on copy paper. Then I used my glue pages, the ones that I fold in half, to make them stiff. And then they're backed with coffee paper. I do need to go through some of these and make sure my edges are glued. Like on this one, it is not. Let's see how it's peeled open there. So I'm just going to squirt some wet glue in there. Give it a little bit of pressure. And that's pretty typical, and it's just, you have to do your due diligence in going back and making sure all of your edges are glued. I know these ones are because I did the entire stack at one time. As I was cutting them out, I was making sure they were glued. So these ones I know are good. This butterfly is from this same digital kit. And then these ones are from a store. I actually did a store bundle. It was everything in the store for one single price. And it was a brand new shop for me, so I can't remember the name of it. But like I said, I will put it in the box below. I went ahead and glued this down. I've got the bitter oranges recipe glued on the front, doing orange to orange, and I have a long tag in there. I gotta figure out something else to put in there. Those round the little journal cards, it fit all the way in, and so I want something a little taller that'll stick out. So I'm gonna have to figure out a digital to use to put there. This is a Shabby Dabby Doodah digital kit. She's got pretty laces, which you'll see throughout this. And it's just got it is printed on coffee dyed paper, little thicker paper than copy paper. So I'm letting those ones stand alone. And I cut them to go in pockets so that they either angle this way with the rest of the pockets or they angle this way with the rest of the pockets. Behind them, this is also from that store bundle that I bought. This is, they call it, 2 pages, so they're meant to be I put the rest of them away. Like this could be a signature in a journal. You fold it in half, and this is 1 page and this is 1 page. What I decided to do was just glue them and create like a large journaling card. My only regret with this is that I do wish that I had put an extra sheet of paper in between just to give them a little bit more heft, because they're pretty wobbly. But no, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue. But no, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see, I mean, it's not a major issue, because I mean, you can see how chunky it is. So if those were all, triple thick, this, it would have made those really, really thick. So again, this was just the base page for writing. I backed this, did the same thing, using my glue pages and then backing with coffee dyed paper. Same with this one. So they're all real thick. Okay. Same with this one. This one's a large card. And while I've got this out, I went around my corners. Let's do this one. Now that could go all the way down into the pocket, but I'm leaving it up a little bit. Here's another one of these. And then these are all backed with the glue page and then coffee dyed paper on the back to give it writing space. This is a recipe for fudge. And these came from a Junk Journal Essentials kit. It was a huge kit. There was 1 and 2. I bought both, and there's so much in them. But again, I can't remember who it is. But the link to their store will be in the description box. Again, this is just a decoration page. Whoever gets the journal can add paper on here. They could use a dark pen. They can write directly on this. It's totally up to them. I love this. Look at these prices. Do I know that those were prices in the 1970s? No, I do not. This also came from the Junk Journal Essentials kit. So, I don't know. And this is one of those double-sided pockets. So I have a pretty little daisy. And with these, I did a single sheet of book page and then coffee dyed paper on the back. So they're not quite as thick. Okay. Oops. Oh, I guess I do still need my glue up. So I got 1, 2, and 3 cards, all backed with coffee paper. Trying to get it in there straight. There's this one. And this is also a pocket. These are really cool pockets. I made a whole bunch of them. Really fun pockets to play with. And it gives you so much space in a journal. That was one of those late night I can't sleep videos that I watched. Again, this is just decoration. Whoever gets it can put something here to write on, paste a picture on there, whatever. I was originally thinking I was going to keep this for myself, but I don't think I'm going to. It'll go over in my shelf over there for when I eventually put these all up for sale. But if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I really like that, you can go ahead and let me know. And when I finish it, we can work out the details. So a little tag and then a little card going this way. And then on this side, we're going the opposite. I have this one on the outside pocket. And then this on the inside pocket. Okay. Again, everything's backed. I Did some pink on the backs of the pink ones. I have pink flowers. I have a lady and a mock stamp. And then here, quick foam shampoo. Goes all the way down. Again, I should round my corners. Rounding the corners, oddly enough, it actually helps it slide into pockets easier. You know, and it makes sense when you think about it, because you don't have the pokey to get caught on stuff. It just slides right on. There's also a pocket here that I have not put anything in. Again, I can make a journaling card to go in there. I can look over in my stash, because I probably have stuff over in my pre-made stuff that might fit in there. I haven't done that yet. Here's another one of Tina's digital prints. So again, it's just, you decorate this however you want. You have all this writing space on the back, and it's just a triple fold little pocket. And again, I have it angled, go in the same direction as the pocket. Recipe number 2 uses oranges, but I don't know what the recipe is. It's just recipe number 2. This little journaling card. And a tag. And again, everything is backed. Okay. Oh, I need to round these ones off too. I'm like, flick. I just like flicking the little corners off to the right, into the pile of crap. Into the pile. So another one of those double-sided pages. Some of these are lined, like this one's already lined. So it gives you lots of writing space. This background was a printout from the store bundle that I bought. Music page. This is the digital from the ladies, the 70s ladies, and the butterfly wings or from another 70s era digital kit. Give me several different types of butterflies. So remember, butterfly is one of my prompt words. So I have this card, journaling card, and then this one. I still need to go through and stamp stuff on these. Again, decoration page, relief page, some people call them. So I have this card, and then another full sheet. Oops. On this side, full sheet. Just a writing spot, another relief page. Again, that's just so that you're decorated, but you're not creating more bulk. Come on this side, there's a recipe card in here for delicious white cake. It is backed. So if you use this as a recipe card, you can make notes on the back about the recipe. If you want it just as ephemera, you write your own little diary notes on the back. There's obviously room in here for more stuff. This was my see-through pocket that I made, and I was so happy that this fit in there, because this was the image that I was hoping was going to fit in there without me having to like cut it down, and it fit perfect. So as you slide it in, you get to see, the flowers. So pretty. I have a card here. And another page here. Card here. And again, there's, it's a big pocket. There's more room there. On this page, these are both backed. Another Tina page. This one I folded the excess back. You don't have to do that. I didn't do it on all of them. Again, a writing page in the back, and it's angled to follow. These 2 pages I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with. I'm still drawing a blank. I have a hard time with pink. I really do. But I did get some stuff from Canada today that's pink and sparkly, and so I might be able to incorporate some of that in here. This is a side pocket. This is backed, and obviously more room for stuff. Corner pocket, more room for stuff, and a recipe for potato cake. Another Tina journal, or Tina page. I love these, her lacy images. They're so pretty. I love working with them. Another double-sided page. And then the last page, I have a little card tucked in there. And then room for more. So that's just kind of a quick flip through of where we're at now. I still have some embellishing to do. One of my prompt words was visual texture. So I have diamond dots that I'm going to put on some pages to give it some texture. But I got to figure out this cover. Now I have 2 fabrics that I picked up at my daughter's house last time I was up there. And I'm like, oh, they're pretty. They're floral. But so there was this one. And I'm like, okay, it's pretty. But does it match the book? And at the end of it, ultimately, I'm like, not really. I mean, not really. It doesn't seem to fit. These seem a little more modern, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The flowers seem a little more modern than what the book is. This fabric is so soft. Yeah, she answered a marketplace ad. It was a huge bag of fabric for $40. And so we went through it and I'm like, oh, I love that one. When we were looking at the pictures, I'm like, oh, I love that one. So when she went and got it, this one was automatically mine. So this is fabric that I think fits a little better with the design of this book. And get verges, 60s to 70s. If I didn't have other fabric that is going to be used for my 60s book, I probably would have used this for that instead. But in my Canada mail, I got fabric that's going to fit my 60s. It's tie-dye. So I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to be using that one. So on this fabric, I'm just trying to figure out where to cut it. Because it's not, the person that had it, that bought it, obviously they were using it for making clothing and stuff. So it's cut weird. Okay. I'm going to do this in my lap. Sorry, I'm going to be off camera for a smidge. And the flap that I'm cutting off is way more than I need. I'm just trying to make them into squares instead of having these weird L and Q and Z shapes, and makes it kind of hard to to manage the fabric when you can't really fold it well. And even this way, it's still not folded well, but it's better than what I was able to do the first time for sure. And this will actually, fit in my drawer better, that I can fold it instead of it being just kind of rolled around. Let's see. Do I want the stripes to go up, or do I want the stripes to go sideways? This is very stretchy fabric too, so when I'm gluing it down, I definitely need to be careful not to overstretch it. I want the stripes to go sideways. Do I have enough? Oh yeah, definitely. Do I have enough? Do I have enough? Okay. I haven't figured out how I want to cover the inside either. I may have some felt that will match it. Possibly. One step at a time. Let's get this baby covered and we'll go from there. Okay, so we got that. Okay. Flip this over. Let's cut off. My sewing scissors, I have to be careful because I'll put them down on my table and I'll pick them up and start to cut paper with them. And I'm like, ah! My kids see me doing that. I know my daughter watches on replay. I don't know if my son does. If my son is available, he usually will pop in on a live stream. Which doesn't coordinate with my daughter's work schedule ever anymore. So she's always catching replay. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, how am I going to line this up and make sure it's straight? How about follow the lines on the fabric? That would be a marvel idea, right? Okay. Now I'm going to use Fabrifix to glue this on. And actually what I'm going to do first, so I'm going to go grab a bottle and I'm going to fill that. Again, I should have had when I had a little person here, I should have had them climb under there and grab it for me. Get this started refilling this because that'll make it less fighty. When the bottle gets low, it likes to bubble and burp and toot and do all kinds of things that make gluing a nightmare. Okay. There is more glue in the original bottle than what will fit in my Sugar Belle. Even though they're both 8-ounce bottles, it has been my experience that it does it. Even if this still had some in it, but even when it's empty, a full 8-ounce original bottle will not fit. It's weird. I don't know if I got dysfunctional, I don't know. But Fabrifix will bleed through your fabric. So you want to kind of like spread it and like knock down the, knock down the look at it eating the, ooh, knock down the raised bits of the glue. My spatula was in my mouth. Sorry. I'm just giving this a squish. So as you saw, the Fabrifix was kind of melting this part of the book, like the color off of it. That is because it is a silicone based glue. And it's it's going to happen. So for the spine, I'm just going to put some on the spatula because I didn't really plan that out very well. Now I did like the look of the spine, parts of it anyway, but I couldn't really figure out a good way to cover the book and still have only part of the spine visible. So giving that a squish. Okay. You can see how quickly it grabs and holds. Good glue. Always will be my recommendation for anybody. Gluing anything other than paper. I mean, it works great for gluing paper, but it is an expensive glue. So if all you're doing is gluing paper to paper, there's better and less expensive glues out there to use. But if you're gluing any kind of fabric to paper, fabric to paper, metal to paper, anything that's not just paper, I highly recommend the Fabrifix / Fabri-Tac, depending on what part of the country you're from. It's got like the best hold. That's kind of like all I can really say there. Okay, so come back around. I want you to wrap so you can dry. And I guess this is where I kind of need to be thinking about what I'm going to do on the inside. Because if I do just paper, a lot of this is going to show through. Okay, there's that piece. Just trying to get the little flappies there so that So I do have Gail Augustinelli playing in my background. The irony, considering she was my inspiration for getting going back on this book. But it's an old video. Her new one, her recent one just dropped. But I don't want to watch it yet because I actually want to pay attention. Digging through my antique fabrics. But I think all of my antique fabrics are all white, which is not going to cover as I just throw them everywhere. You know, because I don't think any of the white linen will cover. You know, I think you'll be able to see through it. And I don't want to do white on the inside, not plain white anyway. See, but I have stuff like this. Some really pretty linens in there, though. But you have this on both sides. So wrap it around, and I could put this running this way with the little scallops. I mean, this is fairly thick, but I mean, the book's already thick, right? This is pretty. Because my only other real option is this green. And I could do the same thing. I could run it this way. Put it the right way anyway. I could run it this way and have the decorated edge running there. Or have it going this way with the decorated edge like sticking out the bottom. Or out the top even. See, but I don't think I like. Well, I was getting ready to say I don't think I like the green with it, but it actually doesn't look too bad. I think I like it better than the white because the white is like stark, like in your face. Hello. So these are linens. Hey, my sandpaper is getting in my way. These are linens that I won at an auction from our local auction house. And I bid on a closet. And that stack right there was pretty much what I was bidding on. That was what I wanted. And in order to get the doilies and stuff and the, you know, the hand stitched handkerchiefs, unfortunately, I had to take everything that was in the closet. So I ended up with blankets and towels, a humidifier, 2 heating pads. It is like, well, okay, we'll make it work. We will make it work. So I just kind of re-glued that corner a little bit, just giving it some extra because it didn't quite adhere all the way to the edge. And a big part of that is the glue drying faster than I'm sticking. I'm also cutting the corners out to make them fold over a little better. Trimming these down so there's not so much to fold over. Again, being careful because it is stretchy fabric. It's like, when you cut your bangs, you don't want to, you don't want to cut them too short because then when they dry, they go boing and then they're way too short. Same concept. Okay. So I'm going to lift this side of the book up just so that it stops wanting to like pull my stuff out of the way. I probably could have trimmed that a little bit more. But of course, my book is not wanting to like hold still either, which is making things slightly more difficult. I wish I had like a clamp or something to hold my book up that way. We're going to start with this side. Now this part's going to be covered, so you don't have to worry about it being straight. You don't have to worry about it being neat. You don't have to worry about bleed through. It's just about getting the cover glued down. And see, when you cut that corner out, it gives a little bit of space for reducing the bulk there in the corner. Okay. Stay still, book, so I can do what I'm trying to do. Okay. Give this a little bit more glue so I don't have to try to cut this off. Okay. This side, I'm going to test that corner just before, because, you know, the last time I did it, when I did it over there, I had to try to cut it after the fact. So, which, as you saw, was not an easy task. Okay. Now, oops, I think that was a little high, but oh, maybe not. I was thinking I put glue too far up, you know, and it was going to be super sticky. It is in one spot right there. We're just going to let that sit for a sec. Cut this little flap off. Come over to this side, cut the little flap off. Easier said than done. Now you could have left that flap there, cut a little snip off, and then run a little bead of glue right here on the edge of the book and folded it in and sealed it. That would have been okay too. Just roll this extra glue off as best I can so that I can move on to the next part. Okay. Now onto this side. Again, we're going to trim off. So we got a lot extra. We're going to come to this side. Oh, I remember this video. Sorry, like I said, I'm watching an old video of Gail. It was just kind of, I was watching something else of hers, and then I went to the, next. Okay, I'm going to cut these little corners. So you angle it toward the corner, and then out the other side, you angle it in the opposite direction. So you're kind of cutting like a V almost. Well, not almost. You are cutting a V. It's just not like an exaggerated one. And you're just cutting to the corner. and then switching directions and going out the other side. Come back in here. Come on. Come on, Paige. Thank you. Oof. Whoa. That would be my scissors. Good thing I can move my toes really quick. And then I'm okay, pull this around. And again, because it's stretchy material, I'm not like really pulling on it. Probably don't have to worry about it too much because I think the Fabri-Tac has got it pretty well, in place on the cover, but why make a problem where one doesn't exist, right? Okay, pull this over, pull this over. Yeah, still got a little bit there to trim. Okay. If you do get some bleed through, just use your silicone spatula, spoon, whatever. It's funny, Gail's kind of the video that I'm watching right now. She's kind of doing what I ended up doing with this one. Like she pulled out a book that she started like a long time ago and hasn't worked in. She's like, I should probably see, it's kind of funny, ironic when when I think about it. Because that was how this one began. I saw her doing her altered journal, and I'm like, or altered book, and I'm like, why have I never finished mine? Do I still have it? And sure enough, there it was, sitting on the desk. I mean, on the bookshelf, just like staring at me. Well, and her word for this year was finish it up. So that totally makes sense. Oh, I gotta do the inside cover. Wish I could just fold it in half and it fit. Ooh, it will. Never mind. There's no wishing involved in that. It's a reality. I didn't want to use both ends of, this pretty. Okay, let's trim that down. I didn't want to use both sides of this and then just have little scraps of it. So, yeah. Glad that worked out. Okay. And then I'm going to trim off this seamed edge. Not going to worry about saving that. That's going in the garbage. In the garbage. As my granddaughter calls it, the garbage. Okay. And then this is cut. Right. Let's go a little bit further out. I'm going to do a Tina technique. I'm going to fold it and then cut along the fold. Like, instead of like going up the center of the fold, I'm going to cut the fold off. She does this with paper, which I think is brilliant. Because when you cut or fold paper and then you try to cut along the fold line, you usually end up with some sort of goobery, on one side or the other. Some sort of I can't get through that. Like you end up with the folded paper on one side or the other. But doing it that way, you end up with a flat edge on both sides. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely brilliant. And she amazes me at how straight she can cut by sight. I'm like, wow. I'm like crooked and more crooked, and guess what? I'm even more crooked. it's horrible. Okay, so how's that? Was sticking out the top. Good. We're gonna trim. And I totally just went against everything I just said and cutting down the fold. Okay, now for this, rather than putting it straight down, I'm going to try to pull out, and fluff up the edges a little bit, make it a little more antique-y, worn. So if you can get a hold of some of those strings that are running up that bias and get them to break loose, then you'll be able to get some stuff going on the side edge there. It's hard to do too when you're not exactly cut straight. In this case, the bottom is a lot easier because of the direction of the fabric. Sorry, I don't even know if I was on camera. But you can see coming across the bottom, I just grab a string. And as soon as I get a hold of it, it runs all the way across. Going up the side because you're going against the grain. Going against, I guess, against the bias. Is that the right word? Yeah, my sewing stuff, my terminology, it's all gone. The fact that I can even like sew on a sewing machine is surprising. And I can barely do that. I can't figure out, my sewing machine zigzags stupid and I can't figure it out. I've adjusted like every knob in every direction and every which combination, and my zigzags still come out messed up. And I don't know. I can't figure it out. I'm like, I give up. I don't sew with it. I don't sew clothes. It's all for junk journaling. So who cares? Really, who cares if my zigzags are crooked? Now, because this is going all the way to the edge, I'm going to put my book corners on first. Which means I got to get to them first. Because otherwise I'm going to be trying to put a book corner over this ruffled edge. So let's see. I got several different kinds. Put that one. And I don't know what's going to fit and what's not, because again, this is an altered book and not one that I've made. Not too bad. Could do black ones. Whoops. Do black ones. Oh, I kind of like the black ones. Dig through this and get 4 of them. This was a decision I made and then regretted as soon as I did it. all of my book corners are in here. Oh. See, I like the black ones, but now I'm like, I've got rose gold. And I've got gold. Ooh, drop something else on my foot. Okay, I'm going to stick with my original. I'm going to stick with black. Cut. And then I don't have the special little pliers that people use for doing these. So I just use my little tweezers to just give them a squish is all I'm really doing. So for these book corners, take my Fabri-Tac again. I'm gluing fabric and I'm gluing metal. So I just kind of squirt some down into the V part of it. Squish it onto the book and I hold it. I count at 10. And that's just to give it a chance to hold. I've got green string everywhere. Again, glue down in the center. Put that on. Give it a hold. Flip this over. Ouch! I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on in here? Like there was a paper in there that was wanting to be glued in. Like, no. Okay. And then the last one. Okay. Use this as a overflow wax grabber. Let's glue off my hands. Put the lid on my Fabri-Tac. Just so that it's not sitting here like trying to do its thing. And then what I do here is I just use my tweezers and I get it up underneath. I put it on the handle part and I just give it a push because I am not strong enough to do this by hand. And I don't have, like I said, I don't have the special little pliers that other people have in order to like squish these down without marring them up. So this works for me. And that's just giving it, a squish into the binding. So you can see here, this is pushed all the way down. I can't get this underneath. Whereas over here, I can get underneath those little pieces. So it's nothing major. You're not like, trying to bend steel or something. It's just not something that I have the hand strength to do. And like I said, there is like a little, like, it's almost like a rubber coated pair of pliers that you can use. But I don't have those. And as long as this works, I don't see any need to buy them. So, and I will say this does kind of hurt my hand after my surgery. I shouldn't be doing it with that hand because that hand does still hurt. But I'm me. And even though I'm left-handed, I do like 99% of my stuff right-handed. And even stuff I thought I did left-handed, I discovered I do right-handed when I had stitches in my hand and I couldn't use my right hand. I was like, well, okay. I definitely discovered just how much I use my right hand. Put these away. Hang them back on their hook. Let's get these two flaps glued in and then we will be finished up for today. I'm like, where did I put my Fabri-Tac? Oh yeah, I put it away. Go figure. Now I think I'm going to go half and half just so the glue doesn't dry on me. Like it did when I was doing the cover, you know. Turn this way. And then like I should be able to look at crochet and figure out which is the front and which is the back, right? Should be able to. Looks like we're going to have to do a little bit of trimming on this panel, but that's okay. If you're working with silicone glue, I highly recommend that you invest in a set of silicone spatulas because it helps keep your hands from getting super gluey. And you know, when your fingers are gluey, it's everything wants to stick to them. So being able to have something that helps you like put stuff down without getting stuck to it is a plus. I'm just kind of doing a quick trim. And again, this will fray as it, you know, as it's used and opened, closed. These edges will fray out. My bookends are getting in my way. There we go. Oop. Okay, well, I guess we're dropping fabric on the floor now, too. Ah, my poor vacuum cleaner. And I'm wondering if washi tape will stick to fabric. I'm going to have to ask around because I don't really know. Never done that. I had to double check. I'm like, oh my God, please tell me I glued that the right way. That is a Miss E scrapbooking with me. She's always gluing stuff on backwards. She's like, oh, ups, you guys were yelling at me, weren't you? Yep. It's upside down. It's upside down. Turn it over. I mean, that's definitely the benefit to doing a live feed is that, you know, when your audience does see that you're making a blunder, hopefully somebody catches it before, you know, it's unfixable. See, this one fits a little better because I actually like trimmed this one down. The other one I was, if you remember, I said, oh, I'm going to have to trim that one. And then I glued it down without trimming it. Yeah. Come on, I just need to get you started. Give a little trim there. Probably have to. I haven't even glued that part yet. I'm like, I'm probably gonna have to put a little extra glue down the edge. See, that would have been you guys yelling at me. Wait, you haven't finished gluing yet. That would have been one of those moments. So clearly I need to clean off my spatula because it's wanting to leave pieces of old glue behind and making me pick off the glue boogers. Now, I could decide if I wanted to put pockets on these back pages. I could. Glue that down. Whoops. See, I didn't knock down the glue, so it left it bled through. I'll have a little triangle there from the glue. Okay. Now I'm sitting here using my fingers on everything. Did all that to make sure that I didn't get glue all over my fingers, and now I'm finger gluing everything. That is me. All right, so there's the first part of the cover. Ugh, I got fabric everywhere. Fabric pieces. I gotta clean that off. Put the lid on my glue, put it away. Trying to do that from too far away. Sorry guys, I'm blind. Wow. Okay. Apparently I'm too blind to do it even up close to my face. Trying to get that pin in there. Can't wait till that glue's gone so I can change out the bottle. I may just do it ahead of time because it's driving me crazy. So there is the beginning of our cover. Got the book corners on. We got this pretty little crocheted lace sticking out the top. Probably put some lace of some sort down the spine. Maybe something on the cover. Not real sure. I'm going to play this one out. But we have a start. I also have to figure out a closure. So thanks for tuning in. If you stayed in here this long, make sure you hit that like button on your way out if you didn't do so on the way in. Again, feel free to share my my channel if you know anybody that you think might like my content, and hit that notification bell and the subscribe button. That way you get the alerts when I'm dropping another video. Until next time, bye.